welcome to another Pick a Pile reading. I'm the unobtrusive healer, aka Felicia, and I'm super excited to come through with another reading for you guys today. So today's reading is diving into the next 2 weeks. So we're going to be figuring out sort of what energy you're going to be in the next 2 weeks, what might be happening, getting through some predictions, finding out as much as we can, and getting through some helpful advice. There's also an extended today. At the end of each reading, I discuss what we're going to talk about in the extended because it's very varied to what comes through. Don't forget, guys, these are general messages. So we're picking up on collective energies, which means that these readings are for a number of people. So it's really important to just take what resonates for you and leave the rest for somebody else in that group that needed to hear it. They're not private readings, so it may not be 100% accurate 100% of the time. It's very important to remember that. I am taking private readings again, so if anyone's interested in a private reading with me, I'm opening them for 1 day per week, so you need to book in advance. My Instagram details are below. My prices, including each service that I do, my service, every service that I do, including the prices, is all on my Instagram profile in my story highlights. So go to the description box below if you're interested in that, or even just to see what else I post. I post horoscopes every week and various other written picker piles over there. What else do I need to say? The extended link is in the description box below if you decide to join me over there. If you're interested in the beautiful frequency I have in the background, that's also linked below. But I think that's it. So we can get into our pile selections for today. So group 1, we have the little hand with like a little third eye. Group 2, you have the moon. And group 3, you have the sun. So feel free to pause the reading if you need to. Don't forget that we need to make sure that we're picking intuitively, not just based on what is most visually appealing. That's not always the pile that has our messages. So if you start a reading or you start a group and it doesn't really feel right for you, then you can always go back and repick. Or pick a different pile. If you happen to be drawn to more than one pile, that is okay, and you can just follow your intuition and you can watch more than one reading if you want. There may just be like one important line in that reading that you're meant to hear, or even multiple things in multiple messages. But the extended is all in one package, so you can watch as many of the extended readings. You don't have to purchase different extendeds if you are drawn to more than one group. But I'll leave you to it to select your pile, and I'll see you over in your message. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. Today we are going to be doing a reading on the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be a bit of a predictions reading to see what's going to be happening for the 2 weeks coming from when you view this video. So it's a timeless reading, so whenever you come across it, it's from that moment and then the next 2 weeks. We should be doing an extended today, so we'll talk about that at the end because it kind of depends on what comes through as to what we're going to talk about in that extended. But yes, if you chose group 1, you chose our little hand symbol with the eye in the middle, which we will pop over here. And we'll take a look at your card now. So your card for the next 2 weeks, we have number 27, crop circles, messages, curiosity, and signs. So the vibe that this card is getting or giving off at the moment for me is that you're going to be potentially in your head a lot. It feels like this is a very airy type of energy, and air makes me think of like mental energy. So I feel like you're going to be spending a lot of time in your own head. So make sure it's a nice place to be. But equally, I also feel like maybe you're going to be getting a lot of communication from either your higher self, from the universe, from the divine, however you like to sort of see that higher power, or even your own spirit guides or angels. It feels like they're going to be heavily communicating with you, either through signs, downloads, straight up messages that you're receiving, or even by like kind of drawing your curiosity towards a certain direction so that you follow it, that type of energy. So it feels as though there's going to be a lot of communication going on within your own mind, and then also from either your spiritual team, your higher self, or from the universe. So that's where I feel like all this grass or this greenery comes into play. I feel like it's going to be very important to keep yourself grounded in the next 2 weeks, probably so that you can figure out the difference between like communication that's coming in and then your own sort of mental chit chat, if that makes sense. With messages, I don't know, there could be someone specifically that you're communicating a lot with in the next 2 weeks. But we will kind of dive deeper into these cards and see what else we get. But so far, that's what I'm seeing. I think some of you may see and notice little orbs like in the corner of your eye or floating around in your vision, but it's sort of like in your mind's eye, not so much your physical eyes, but it's like you'll kind of see them sort of floating around your head or around your kind of like your eye area. But yeah, pay attention to signs and communication from spirit. All right, so let's have a look at these cards. So I've pre-shuffled all of the oracle cards for this reading, and then we're going to pull some tarot cards on camera. But we've pulled from 5 different oracle decks, and for you we have a new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. We have number 2, yin in reverse. We have number 28, victory in reverse. We have number 14, balance in reverse. And number 17, the storyteller. Okay, so I am seeing a bit of a picture or a bit of a story coming into play already, but we'll kind of discuss each card one by one. I'm just trying to make sure that we're kind of nice and straight. All right, so the new moon in Gemini card. So this card, it talks about how the success, or not the successful, I was going to say the success of, and then I was also going to say a successful relationship. But the success of a relationship usually comes down to communication, essentially. And then with new moon energy can represent new cycles. So it feels like there's a new cycle opening up for communication, or where communication is involved. Now, whether you are in a connection, it could be talking about, you know, a connection where things have been a little bit tense, or maybe you haven't been speaking very much, or there's distance, or there's something challenging going on. It can talk about needing to communicate with your partner or your spouse or your loved one. If you're single, it can even talk about the communication with yourself, like what is the narrative that you're telling yourself about yourself? Does it need improving? Does it need rewriting? Does it completely need to be restructured? Are you being kind to yourself? Are you being hard on yourself? That type of thing. It's about communicating in very healthy ways. So if it involves another person, then it means talking to the other person that's involved. If you can't or you won't talk to that other person or the other people, you can even just journal to yourself, but the key is getting it all out of your mind and getting it onto paper, or getting it out in the open. I guess to sort of like help with that mental chatter, because this Gemini energy can represent a time where you're mentally a little bit scattered. So getting everything kind of like out of your head can help to clear it a little bit and kind of get you making more sense of what's going on in your mind. So with that being said, this card can represent a need to ground, or even meditate regularly to make sure that you're staying grounded, which actually came through with your pile selection card as well. And I just want to point out that this card in the guidebook, I'm like 97% sure that it mentions specifically that if you have an issue with a sibling or a neighbour, so I don't know if it has to be that specific in this book or if you can broaden that to be any type of relationship, but the book specifically says a sibling or a neighbour. There's a clean slate coming, and a completely fresh start can be had in that relationship. So just thought I'd mention that in case someone needs to hear it. But yeah. Sometimes like the Gemini energy can be sort of like fast-paced, flirty and or sociable. So especially with it being next to the yin card in reverse, I feel like if you are single or you're looking for connections or even just looking for friendships and things like that, I think that you need to be open to the people that are trying to be social or be friendly or even flirt if you're looking for something more than friendship. Being open to that and looking for signs of that, because it can be a type of energy where I actually think another thing that this card says in the guidebook is that someone is flirting with you if you like pay attention, or then if you're already taken, then it could be that someone's trying to like get your attention or someone's trying to connect with you for like a different reason, but it's about being open to that and being receptive. And speaking of being receptive, when we go to this next card, yin in reverse, this is all about getting comfortable with that receiving energy. So with this being in reverse, it can mean that you kind of have blockages when it comes to your ability to just receive. Maybe you feel like you always need to give something back, or give more than the other person, or you don't feel good about yourself when you don't offer something in return, or you don't offer something first, and therefore you don't at all, or you struggle to accept things or receive from other people. And this is about working on that and opening up to those times of receive, because if you're always the giver but then you never receive, you're blocking the flow, because the energy flows when it goes both ways. So it's giving me kind of like infinity symbol. That's what I was seeing in my mind, is the infinity symbol. Like, it has to go both ways for it to work. If you're always going in one direction, it's not going to be able to come back and make that loop. It's going to be just like a linear here and here with a, like no flow. So it's a time where you need to open up your heart space and be okay with being, the receiver or the student instead of the teacher, being led instead of being the leader, being given to instead of being the giver. So this card's pretty straightforward, and it's just about kind of getting more comfortable in your yin energy and not feeling like you always have to be doing something or always having to be on. Moving on to number 28, victory in reverse. If there's been a stall to your success, or if you feel like success is kind of like eluding you, or it's taking a long time, it's delayed, it's stalling, or there's just no real progress going on, this is exactly why. There's similar messages on either side of this victory in reverse card. So obviously being in reverse, it means that the victory at the moment feels blocked or feels unattainable for some reason. And with these two cards surrounding it, it is because this is a time of going into your yin energy. It's a time of doing less, giving less, being less, and just receiving and going within. this is a time of that energy to come back to you instead of it going in that other direction all the time, coming out of you. This is a time for it to come back to you. So you just need to sit in this energy and get comfortable with it, because that's what's blocking the flow or blocking the victory, is because you're not willing to sit back and receive it. So if you're not willing to receive from people around you, if you're not willing to receive in general, then you're not willing to receive success either. You're telling the universe, I'm not ready or willing to receive. So how can you receive victory, or how can you receive success, or how can you receive recognition if you're not open to it? Sometimes that this card can also be about if you're fixed on a certain outcome or a certain expectation. It can be about sort of letting go a little bit, and like surrendering peacefully to get the victory that you deserve, because sometimes maybe what we have in mind sounds great, but what the universe has in mind is 1,000 times better, but we're so fixed on a certain outcome that we're missing that flow coming from a different source. So we need to kind of just like open up to what the universe has in mind, because the universe has our best interests at heart, and trusting that can help the universe bring it in for you as well. And it can also be a card about sometimes needing to either reevaluate, reassess, restructure, your plans or your timetable or your priorities even, in order to get a better flow going on. And in saying that, sometimes that can mean that maybe, you're too focused on your success or your material world or your work, and, your relationships, your family, your friends, your partner, if you have a partner. Maybe those relationships are suffering because you're putting too much into your work, and that's why you're getting blocked in work, is because you need to open up to your connections and to receiving love around you, giving and receiving love around you even, and making sure that your relationships are balanced in order to get the victory that you want to see in other areas of your life, which kind of ties me straight into this card here, balance, number 14 in reverse. So this card, I only take uprights, but I could definitely see why it was in reverse when it came out. And I decided that I'll just leave it in the reverse, because this does talk about needing to rebalance some of the parts in your life, and it usually speaks of relationships with this card, hence why it has a two people on the card. So it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship if you're single. It just means that, balancing time with your friends, your loved ones, your family members, that might need to take more of a priority in your life to get the balance that's needed for everything else to start to flow. And that actually just triggered a memory that in this card, in all of the cards, they have a section in the description of each cycle or each card that says attune to the moon, and it's like something you can do or say to attune to the energy of the card. And in this one, it says write down the people, or list the people that you love the most, and then ask yourself if you're prioritizing them enough. And that just reminded me of that little kind of note in the guidebook, because that's what this is saying, is that there are people around you that you're not prioritizing enough, and therefore the balance in your life is off, and bringing that back into balance can kind of help that flow sort of come back in. But equally, it can also talk about the relationship with yourself. So if you're neglecting yourself and you're working too much, it can be about prioritizing yourself more, being kinder to yourself, showing yourself some love to rebalance the scales there. So whether you're single or not single, either way, I would look at the relationship with yourself and also the relationship with your family, friends, and then your partner as well, if you have one. So bringing that back into balance is kind of what's going to help open the gates for that success to come on through, that abundance, that good flow of energy. Excuse me. So this card here, the Storyteller, number 17. So this card is excuse me. Oh, actually, just before I move on, I forgot to also talk about this card. If you are someone that's looking for love, it kind of asks you to balance the relationships with your family and your friends to help set the tone of what's coming in. Balancing your own needs, your own aspects of your own life, and then the relationships between your family and friends is what's going to really open doors in your love life. So for singles, I feel like that's something that's important because I kind of got pulled back to that message before I could move on to this one here. But yeah, so this card in a nutshell, it kind of speaks of like the importance of your identity and knowing who you are, because you're always teaching others how to treat you through the stories that you tell about who you are. So I'll say that again. You're always teaching others how to treat you through the stories you tell them about who you are. So for example, because it's kind of like a confusing phrase, I know that I had to kind of like sit with it a few times when I was first kind of learning this book and stuff like that. But like, let's say you're someone that's really self-deprecating, or you have like a really self-deprecating sense of humor. It might seem like a joke or it might seem harmless to you, but when you're speaking about yourself negatively, you're telling other people that they can speak about you negatively as well. You're opening doors for a less than supportive environment. Does that make sense? Equally, like if you're someone who plays your success down, or you play your skills or your talents down, if you dim your light so that you'll be accepted or to make other people comfortable, you're creating an environment where people are only okay with like a downsized version of you, which is not a supportive environment. So by kind of like rewriting the story that you're telling about who you are, whether that's the story you're telling yourself or the story that you're telling others, you can kind of, you can create better environments around you, a lot more positive and supportive environments, because if you're speaking about yourself in a positive and successful frame, other people are going to support that. And if they don't, they're not meant to be around you anyway. So this can be about like practicing, affirmations of like success and abundance, owning your gifts, concentrating on your blessings, and the outer world will then kind of like reflect this back to you and give these things back to you. So if you're speaking about success and abundance and blessings, the universe is going to speak that, because what you're putting out or what you're focusing on, the universe is going to reflect it back to you. So if you need to kind of rewrite the story you're telling about yourself or to yourself, then this is a very good time to do that, like sort of over the next 2 weeks. But yeah, it seems like over the next 2 weeks you're going to be, or you're called to really kind of go within to that receiving energy, to make your head or make your mental space a nice space to reside in, because you're going to be spending a lot of time there. So it's all about kind of rewriting the dialogue that you have with yourself, as well as communicating healthily with others to bridge any gaps that may have formed in the recent past. It's a time of kind of like repairing and rebalancing the connections with the people that mean most to you on all levels, and that's going to help open up the door to more abundance, more victory, love if you're looking for love, or just more love in your connection, because you're going to be prioritizing it more. And yeah, so from the oracle cards, that's what I can see for you guys. So we might pull some tarot cards now, and see what else is going to be going on in a little bit more kind of detail, because there was a lot of advice, as much as it's predicting that you're going to be spending a lot of time sort of going within, receiving, and restructuring your life to find more balance. I kind of want to, I don't know, I guess, try and get a little bit more specific about what's going to be happening, if we can. Alright, so what else can you tell us about Group 1's fortnight to come when they are receiving this message, please, Spirit? Predictions. Let's get some more sort of detailed predictions, if we can, for Group 1 in the next fortnight. Let's start maybe with... Actually, let's just leave it open. What do you want to do? Talk about, Spirit? What's going on for Group 1 in the next 2 weeks? The 9 of Cups. So the 9 of Cups is definitely a card of your emotions and your spiritual sort of self. So it's kind of talking about putting your heart space first, your how would I describe? What's the word I'm looking for? Like trying to do less and be more, just be, you know, and be happy, be content, be comfortable, and feel fulfilled. Like the 10 of Cups is the ultimate fulfillment, but the 9 of Cups is pretty good too. Like the 9 of Cups is someone who feels grateful for everything that they've got. They appreciate everyone and everything that they have in their life, and it's all about kind of like that seat's not going to be comfortable forever, but I feel really good about where I'm at. So the 9 of Cups is kind of telling me that in the next 2 weeks, you know, as you sit down and you take a break and you kind of get comfortable with this receiving, you're going to sit there and be like, you know what, like I'm actually so blessed already. Like I have this, that, the other, you know, I've got all these really good things. I've got all these good people in my life. I feel good. So if you haven't been feeling, I guess, good about where you're at lately, I feel like it's because you just need to take time off to pause and reflect, because maybe you've just been like go. You've been working really, really hard. You've been giving a lot to your goals, to the people around you, or whatever the case is in your situation. And this is about kind of just like taking your foot off, sitting down and being like, wow, look at all these great things I have. And then even letting other people kind of like add to that, because you've been doing and giving so much recently. Predictions for Group 1 in the next 2 weeks when they come across this message. Okay. So we have the King of Swords here. Couple more cards and figure out if that's your energy or the energy of somebody else. There's definitely like a very honest conversation with someone on some level. And that could be like a specific relationship that's going to be kind of like repaired, or that clean slate that we spoke about. This doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner. This could just be someone that you either haven't spoken to in a long time, or either you kind of withdrew a little bit from them, or they withdrew a little bit from you. And it feels like there could be some honesty and clarity brought to the situation, and there you go. There could be a very, very happy outcome for that relationship. So however that relationship is to you, if it's a partner, a spouse, a parent, a boss, a friend, but somewhere where there's been a little bit of distance or one of you have been withdrawn, it feels like there's going to be a very honest conversation happening there. Okay, what else can you tell us about the next 2 weeks from when group 1 comes across this reading? All right, we have the Death card. We have the 8 of Wands. We have the Strength card. Okay, so I feel like we're still on this relationship. So this is either a relationship that's going to either be revived or transformed for the better. The 8 of Wands is very new moon in Gemini vibes, like a lot of clear and honest communication kind of opens up like the gates for like all this back and forth communication, this excitement, things to start happening, balance to be restored with the Strength card there. So for some of you, this is either a connection or relationship that's going to be completely revived. So it's something that completely ended at some point. And then for others of you, it's just a situation that's going to be transformed for the better. So if it hasn't been so good lately, or if you've been having some problems with this person, then it's going to be transformed in a positive way, and balance will come back into the situation. And then, oh yeah, we have the 3 of Cups on the bottom. So there's like a happy outcome. And the 3 of Cups can also talk about like siblings, family, friends. So that's also, I'm not seeing a lot here to suggest that it's a love interest or a partner. It feels more like a platonic relationship or like a sibling, because of that 3 of Cups and the King of Swords as well. We don't have a lot of water on the table, and then that card also spoke about a sibling or a neighbor. So I feel like sibling was the key here. So if anyone's been having issues with a sibling, it feels like that's going to be resolved, or if there's been like distance or someone's been a bit withdrawn, it feels like there's going to be like a really honest conversation and a really good outcome to come out of that. All right, so we're going to finish up the reading with some advice. So we're going to use this deck. All right, so what's group 1's advice for the next 2 weeks when they come across this message, please? What's group 1's advice for the next 2 weeks when they come across this message? So the first card out is the Squirrel. So this is about spiritual maintenance and being your own caretaker. So this is a card of, like basically hoarding your energy like a squirrel would hoard his acorns, and about being really, really protective over it. So kind of taking the time to go within, Really look after yourself. Like stop giving your energy out or giving it away, and like really kind of like, you know, going within that yin energy, keeping hold of it, looking after it, and letting other people give you their energy, being okay with receiving for a little while. But mostly it's all about looking after yourself, emotionally, spiritually, really taking care of your well-being. Squirrels are like really fast moving, fast paced animals, so I feel like it's almost asking you to just slow down for a bit and just stop giving yourself away so freely all the time. It's actually, when I put that there, I can also see here that you will actually like evolve and acquire a lot of wisdom from going within. So if I look at this row as like you in general, it feels like you taking time out to stop, really go within, reconnect to yourself, be really kind to yourself, show yourself a lot of love, rejuvenate your cup. That'll put you in a really, really powerful energy of alignment. And it's going to that's just going to attract, like your alignment or your frequency is going to attract in a lot of victory, success, and it's going to be the type of success that could really change your life and really get things moving very, very quickly. All just from finding that balance and finding time to just have fun and enjoy the company of your loved ones, and just take your foot off the gas for a little bit and just put it in park and chill, stop and smell the flowers. Hello. Okay, so there's actually quite a lot there, but this one kind of made it known that it wanted to be separate from the rest. And it's the free spirit card. What are the chances? So we have the horse, free spirit. Give yourself the space and the freedom to express your creativity. And I don't know if you guys kind of saw how that fell, but 3 cards fell, and then this one kind of was like, whew, just fell a little bit separately, but these ones stuck together like glue. And it's almost like, you know, when the card's talking about getting space and freedom, it did that. It kind of got its space and its freedom, just enough to be revealed. So it feels like even the way the card come out was a message. And look, the horse has come out right underneath these 2 horses too. What are the chances of that? But anyway, obviously this is, even if you take the creativity part out of it, this is about giving yourself space and freedom to literally just be a free spirit, do the things that you love. But some advice here is to tune into your creative side and maybe find a creative outlet, whether it's drawing, writing, creating, dancing, you know, any type of creative outlet that resonates with you, whether you're good at it or not. Just doing a lot of that is going to lift your energy as well. These almost look like rose quartz points to me. So I feel like maybe rose quartz is something that you could work with. That's a very loving stone, so it'll kind of help you give a lot of love to yourself and bring a lot of relaxing, kind of calming energy towards you. So that could be something that you could work with if you have a rose quartz, or if you want to pick one up for yourself. Random message, because I know that everybody washes their hair, that's normal, but I was really being highlighted, like the fluffy mane and the fluffy tail. Sometimes even just like bringing mindfulness to when you're washing your hair and just really enjoying it is something that maybe someone here could really benefit from. And just like, I don't know if it's like advice for someone, or if someone here actually does that, like they use their hair washing time specifically for like mindfulness, where they really like tune into their body, or it just like uplifts someone here, or if that's just something that you could do really quickly that's going to lift your energy super fast. But there's something here about like washing and doing your hair in a way that makes you feel good is just going to really uplift your energy. So even something as simple as that. Oh, hello. And the deer, trust. Approach the situation with a light heart. So even something as simple as that, approach the situation with a light heart, and you might be surprised at what it can do for you. But equally, I feel like this is just telling you that these things can help you be more trusting in general, because when we are depleted or when we're feeling defeated, we can feel a little bit, is it distrusting? Mistrusting, distrustful. Oh my God. I've gone completely blank. Obviously, I'm like too far in the channeling realm to kind of tune into the human dictionary realm. We can lack trust when we're not feeling at our best. So like, you know, if we're feeling flat, we can look at things from like a more negative perspective and be a little bit more mistrustful of our circumstances or where the universe is taking us. I'm so sorry if I'm using the wrong word. I'm fully overthinking it now. But kind of like rejuvenating your energy, giving yourself space to be a free spirit and just do the things you love and have some freedom. That's going to help you fill yourself up, and it's going to help you approach the next coming couple of weeks with a really light heart. This could also be talking about if there is someone that you're going to be communicating with that's going to resolve or solve a problem in a connection that you've been having, whether it's family, partner, friends, colleague, whoever. If you approach the situation with a light heart and trust that the highest good will happen, then that is exactly what will happen, okay? We'll get one more message of advice. What's group one's final message of advice, please, for the next 2 weeks when they see this reading? Oh, gosh, that made quite the entrance. It's the Raven. Whenever I get this card, I always wonder to myself if Australia's version of the Raven, is it a crow? I reckon it would be. Or do we have ravens? I don't even know. Fill me in, guys, in the comments. But yeah, we have Raven, wise woman, a change is coming. So again, this is like bringing me back to that message that I mentioned of you guys kind of going within, doing this spiritual maintenance, giving yourself space and freedom is going to put you in a really like a really powerful alignment, and you're either going to learn something or acquire some sort of wisdom or knowledge that helps you move forward or helps you make a change or just brings change in. So that's kind of like connecting those dots together to kind of confirm that. But also we predicted that there was going to be a very big transformation coming in with that death card. And a change is coming is kind of reiterating that energy to me as well. So a big change in the next couple of weeks that comes out of you just going within and taking really good care of yourself. So that's not too big of an ask. It just means that you maybe need to get comfortable with taking your foot off the pedal for a little bit and just taking some time out for spiritual maintenance. You know, to really just sort of take care of your well-being. All right, group one, that is where I'm going to wrap this up. For the extended reading, what we're going to do is we're going to look beyond the 2 weeks for you guys, and we're going to see what happens next. So we can see that there's a big change coming. We can see that there's a lot of success and a lot of recognition coming from you guys just kind of going within to do some sort of self-care and some inner work, some spiritual maintenance, as we said. So I really want to kind of look beyond that and see, you know, what is the reward for doing all this work? I want to really kind of tune in to see what happens next, because I can see that the pace picks up. I can see that a lot of excitement and a lot of happiness comes in, a big change, a lot of success, some more victory kind of starts to enter your life. So I really want to tune into that and see what that's all about. So if you're interested, you can check out the description box below for the link to the extended reading and join me over there. But even if you are not going to go to the extended, I would just like to say thank you so much for watching this reading and for supporting my, supporting my channel. It means so much to me. I'm nearly kind of getting close to 400 subs now, so I wondered if that was even possible at one point. So thank you so much for watching. If you feel like doing so, don't forget to give it a like or a comment, or subscribe to the channel if you don't already. That would mean a lot. And whether I see you in the extended or not, guys, please do take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll look forward to connecting with you in another video soon. Oh, and before I go, I would also just like to remind you guys, or just maybe announce to you guys, that I am reopening my private readings, but I'm only going to allocate 1 day a week. So there could be wait times when you do book. I'm not quite sure. It just sort of depends if I'm at a peak or if I'm quiet at the time that you inquire. But if you're interested in a private reading, check out the description box for my Instagram details. Go to my Instagram page. All my services and the prices are in my highlights reel on my profile, and all you need to do is send me a DM to book, and I'll get back to you and we'll book you in. But yeah, take care, guys, stay safe, and I'll connect with you again soon. Bye. Hi Group 2, welcome to your reading, where we're going to be diving into the next fortnight from when you come across this reading. So needless to say, it's timeless. So whenever you come across the reading, whenever you come across the reading, it's for the 2 weeks following that moment. So if you've chosen Group 2, you've come to our little moon symbol, and we're going to flip over your first card to start off with. So you got the Syrians, the Bee Collective, and this card says responsibilities, lessons, and growing up. So that's the kind of the energy of the next fortnight, you could say. So you may be you may have a lot of responsibilities on your plate. You may be learning some lessons. You may be growing up, or even evolving or ascending, or learning a lot in the next fortnight that makes you grow up quite quickly or grow up even more. Something that kind of matures you in some way. So that's what we can see there so far about the next 2 weeks. So we're going to get into the oracle cards, which I have already pulled for every group. So we have 5 here, which we'll touch on, and then we'll get into some tarot cards to get some further information. So you guys have got balance, spirituality, and practicality. That's a Pisces energy card there. You've got number 36, come to the edge in the reverse position. You've got 21, strategy in reverse. Number 6, believe and succeed. And your final card is number 4, great and full. All right, so beginning with your Moonology card here, This can really be a card to signal to me that you have been a little bit too head in the clouds lately, so to speak, or like a little bit out of touch with reality maybe. So there's a kind of need to balance this out by doing a lot of grounding, maybe some regular meditation or regular mindfulness that kind of brings you back into the present moment and really anchors you in to your present reality or your current situation. And I think that it's going to be important for you guys to be dropping back into that space regularly throughout each day to kind of make sure that you're, I guess, seeing things from a grounded and balanced perspective, not too head in the clouds, like we said. It can, so on one level, if we're talking about in terms of like your dreams and your aspirations, it can be a sign that you need to bring more practicality to the equation. So that's to say, like, you've done enough spiritual work, so like the manifesting or the visualization or writing down your intentions or trying to attract things. You've done enough of the spiritual side, and now it's time to get practical and take down to earth steps towards what you wish to achieve. So it's kind of getting like intentional and taking proper steps, tangible steps towards your dreams. On a sort of slightly different level, it can be a sign that you might need to bring or find more balance between, like your responsibilities and your dreams. So, if you have these really big dreams, but then, I don't know, your responsibilities take up all your time and you have no time left for your dreams, it's like, okay, so where can I maybe, restructure my life so that I do have a bit more time? Like, what can I carve out? What can I ask someone else to do? What can I maybe leave for tomorrow? Like, it's about kind of, finding a balance between your responsibilities and then your dreams. On the flip side, it could be that maybe you're spending so much time on your dreams and visualizing that you're like neglecting your home or you're neglecting your family or something like that. And it's about finding balance there. But overall, this card would suggest that intuitively speaking, your like psychic senses are really powerful with this card. So if you can meditate every day, you will find all the answers that you need from within you. So whatever you need to know in the next 2 weeks, you could essentially sit with yourself, meditate every day for 7 days, and you would get all these answers yourself. I mean, you don't have to do that. That's what I'm here for. But you might even find, more specific and more detail when you're finding the answers from within you, because then it can be more, obviously it's going to be a lot more personalized to your situation rather than my collective messages that are meant to try to fit everybody, so they're a little bit more general. But yeah, if you were to meditate every day for a week, even if it's like 10-15 minutes a day, you would be surprised at what answers come to you. This card can also be a message to be mindful because you're in a super romantic but not a super realistic state. So the more grounded and in tune you are with your intuition, the better or the more clearly you'll see or like intuitively feel situations out in your life. It can also be a card that heralds a time when soulmates connect. So you may be connecting with a soulmate in the next couple of weeks. And just don't forget, soulmates don't have to be romantic. They can be friends, colleagues. They could have a purpose to fulfill together, like a mission or a goal that they're supposed to carry out together. And it doesn't have to be in a romantic way. So if you're already in a connection and you're like, oh, well, this can't be my reading, I'm already with someone, it may not be a romantic soulmate. It may be like someone who you're going to work with, or someone who's going to be like a really good friend to you, or someone who has really good advice. Soulmates can be various different types of connections, but destined or come with a purpose nonetheless. So I did feel called to kind of mention that because we do have a lot of love hearts in this card, and there is like a love interpretation for this card as well. So for those who are interested in the love message, it's going to come through, and just take it how it resonates. Obviously, I'm going to try to make it fit for everybody, but yeah, this could be a card of, meeting a soulmate in the next fortnight, but the more grounded and in tune you are, the more clearly you'll see it. So, if you are in a relationship, maybe you might dismiss meeting this person thinking that, they are trying to flirt with you, but then maybe that was an opportunity to start a business with someone, and it wasn't like that because you're not quite seeing things clearly, or you're not feeling the situation clearly. Or someone might come in, and because you're in a super romantic state, you try to move things too quickly, but you needed to kind of slow things down, or something along those lines. But yeah, we'll keep going and we'll kind of see how it all ties in eventually anyway. For now, we're going to move on to the next card. So come to the edge in the reverse. So this card, when it's in the reverse position, is actually about like fear is kind of holding you back, or it's steering you in certain ways or certain places that you don't really need to go. So, your fears might be putting you in a dark place, or your fears might be, planting doubts, or planting seeds of uncertainty and scarcity in your mind or something. But these fears are simply just illusions that are stemming from an old belief that's not true for you anymore. So, like one of the things that comes through with this card is that maybe, let's say, everyone around you is like, progressing really quickly, and they're doing really well for money, and they're doing this and they're doing that, or they're traveling here and they're traveling there, or they've got a house and they've got this and they're set up, and maybe you're not quite there yet. You don't need to fear or worry that you're getting left behind and having to watch everyone else get what they want. You're not forgotten or anything, even if your journey is moving slower or it's moving a bit differently to the people around you. You don't need to let that create a sense of urgency or a sense of doubt, or you don't need to start comparing yourself or feeling like you're never going to get what you want. It's just that your journey is so different, and everyone's on a very different timeline. So it's not to say that you're never going to find success, or you're never going to get to do what people around you are doing. It's just that, that moment hasn't come for you just yet, but it is definitely coming. So this card is kind of like asking you to ask yourself, like, who in you is afraid and why? And then give that part of you a hug and some reassurance that everything's okay, your blessings are coming, and then summon that courage despite the fear, and trust that all's well, even if you're having to fake that confidence, fake it till you make it. But just start summoning that courage to just move through your fear, move past your fear, feel the fear, and then keep moving anyway. Don't let it hold you back. And then also, I suppose, with this card being right next to it, also be careful of letting your fear drive you into a state of inaction. So in a way that I could describe this is like, I know that when the more anxious that I get, the more paralyzed I get. So it's like, even though my mind can think of 1,000 things that I should be doing, it's so overwhelming that I get like stuck and I can't move. So it's almost like I'm paralyzed, and it's just like the anxiety becomes so much that it becomes crippling. Like you're just stuck there and you can't do anything because all you're doing is thinking yourself into this absolute chaotic mindset, to the point where you're draining your energy so much. So don't let your fear drive you to a state of inaction. Feel the fear, then keep moving. So yeah, this strategy card, strategy in the reverse position. Basically, like, you know, although everything is perfect in the eyes of the divine, I guess to help move things along, more planning and like conscious intentions could be beneficial to your situation in terms of like your work, dreams, goals, aspirations, or whatever you're trying to bring into your life. So this is again Spirit reminding you of those practical requirements of your manifestation. So you know, don't wander around in confusion. Don't let the mundane things in life overtake you. You know, get very clear on a strategy or a structure or a routine that you can begin immediately. And this is going to make all the difference in the coming weeks. So that's really going to like propel you forwards, straight towards a really successful place. So, you know, you've done the visualization, you've set the intentions, you've felt the emotions, you've manifested your bum off, but now's the time for like really purposeful and consistent action. Yeah, I just think getting very clear. And that thing about balancing out your responsibilities and your dreams came up again, sort of in that message with that card as well. So I think it's very important that you create a structure or a timetable or whatever you need to do where you set certain times for certain things. So it's like, okay, I don't know, for argument's sake, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings, I work on my dream. These days I'm at work. These days I'm handling the house, and then this is my rest time. Even, you know, scheduling rest times is important as well. But just getting really clear on what time is for this, what time is for that, and ensuring that you have enough time for the things that mean a lot to you, as well as the things that you have to do, you know, those mundane, monotonous responsibilities that we have in life. So moving on, yeah, this kind of ties straight into this card. You know, getting clear about the action that you're going to take is what's going to put you straight on track towards your success. But the other side of this is your belief. Do you believe in yourself? Do you have faith that you're going to get to where you want to go? Because that's very crucial in getting to where you want to go. If you don't believe that you're going to get there, then you probably won't. You know, mindset is a huge thing. We're constantly creating or co-creating our reality with spirit. And if we don't believe that we're going to get somewhere, then we probably won't get there. So your optimism, your faith, and your belief in yourself and your belief in the universe is very, very important at this time. And just, yeah, you know, consistency, that consistent effort is what's really going to get you to where you want to go. And then also remember that as you do like work towards your goals and things like that, you become an inspiration to people around you, and you light the way for others to follow their dreams as well. So the people that see you do it are influenced or encouraged to do the same. So there's something here about remembering your power or your influence when it comes to those around you or other people, and being that beacon of light for others to move towards their success as well. Oh, I'm getting out of breath. There's big energies coming through this pile because it's like really, it's taking the breath out of me, like big time. Very, very intense. Also with this card, because we have pulled it out of the Psychic Tarot for the Heart, this is also about, you know, if you are single and you know, you do want to meet someone, this is about believing in yourself and having faith that it will happen. It's not about buying into your fears or buying into your doubts or thinking things like, oh, I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to be in love. You know, I'm just not meant to be in love. I'm just meant to be alone. Like saying things like that whether it's consciously or subconsciously, it's gonna, take you in the direction that you want to go the least, If you really, really want love, but that's the narrative you're telling yourself, then, you're going to go in a different direction. So you need to make sure that your thoughts and your dialogue is in line with where you want to go, and that you're believing that you're going to get there so that it can come to you. And then equally, if you're in a relationship and you want it to go in a certain direction, like example only, let's say you've been with your partner for like 6 years, I'm saying 6 because this is the card, for like 6 years, and they haven't proposed yet, and you really, really, really want that to happen, but you're thinking like, oh, it's never going to happen. This is about having that belief that it will happen, and choosing to see it in a more positive light, and also being grateful for everything that you already have while believing that that will still happen. So whatever it is that you want, it's about believing in it and believing in the success of that ideal result. Speaking of being grateful, that's literally what this card's all about. It's kind of just about, even if you don't have everything you want in the world, it's about acknowledging and being grateful for what you do have, because you always have enough, regardless of how much your brother, mother, sister, auntie, or your friend has. You always have enough, and that is something to be grateful for, because there are many, many people in the world that don't even have the basics. So we can still be grateful while we can still dream. So this is really about kind of, not feeling like there's a rush, or not feeling like there's a limit, not feeling like there's an urgency, not feeling like it's a race. It's just about enjoying every moment for what it is, enjoying everything that you already have, concentrating on what you already have to be grateful for right now, and that will also open the door for more to flow in. And so will aligning your prosperity consciousness with the higher consciousness. So that's like the higher consciousness of prosperity is like wanting to give to those less fortunate, wanting to share, that give and receive. So when we receive a lot, it's like, what can we do to help others with that, within our means. It's not saying you, like, let's say you get $1 million, it's not saying you have to donate $1 million. It's about, just finding ways that you can pay it forward, and help the world or help people in like some small way, even if it's your time. It doesn't have to be money or physical things. It could be your time or your energy that you're giving to others. Being of service is a very, obviously if it's pure and it's coming from the right place, because if you're faking it, the universe is going to see straight through that. The universe is too intelligent for that. But if it's coming from a pure heart for the right reasons, aligning with that higher prosperity consciousness can also attract a lot more towards you as well. Whew. So some big energies coming through in this reading. It makes me feel like there is some really big things coming your way, or you're moving towards some very big things. Group 2, we're going to get some tarot cards out now, and we're going to try to get a little bit more detailed with the predictions. I feel like the oracle cards are going more in like an advice direction. So let's try and have a look at what might be going on in the next fortnight for group 2 when they come across this reading, please. What are some of the predictions we can get through for group 2 for the next 2 weeks when they are receiving this message? Okay, so we have the Strength card, which is all about balance, which is what pretty much a lot of your message has been about, balancing spirituality and practicality, balancing your dreams with your responsibilities, that type of energy, balancing your manifestations with tangible, practical action, things like that. But this is also kind of giving me that energy of just like pausing and taking time to enjoy the present moment. Like you can see here that they're obviously on a journey somewhere. There's like hardly anything around them. And it's like she's just taking a moment to pat the lion and just stop and just connect with that present moment and enjoy that present moment for a second. So I think that's about it's connecting me to that grateful energy where you're going to be kind of taking time to be grateful for what you have, finding the balance you need to keep moving forward, and just being in like a really good energy where you're both being grounded and practical, as well as being in tune spiritually. Okay, so we have the Wheel of Fortune coming out now. So there could be like something quite destined or fated happening in the next 2 weeks. What's the Wheel of Fortune about? Let's see what we can get through. Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands. So the end of a heavy or burdening cycle. The Ten of Wands is kind of someone reaching the end of a journey that's become quite difficult to I've kind of just ruined that. The Ten of Wands is like someone who has been on a journey and they've accrued a lot of baggage and a lot of weight along the way. And the Ten of Wands is when they finally get back onto solid ground or to like a stable surroundings where they can like let all of that go and start a brand new cycle. So if you have been feeling like you have been a little bit weighed down, you've been a little bit maybe disadvantaged, or you've been carrying a lot on your shoulders lately, it seems like there's going to be like a change in the wind where you can let all of that go and a brand new cycle is going to open up, one where you're feeling so much more balanced and stable and ready to attack your goals. It feels like there's like this energy of like your luck changing. So if you feel like you've had an unlucky run or like things have been going against you, it feels like that's about to change. If you have been dealing with some money struggles, if you haven't been earning a lot or your income's been a bit slow, or you've been sick or injured, or you haven't been able to work properly, especially with these two cards, maybe there's like... it's funny because I'm dealing with some back problems, but that's what's kind of coming through with those cards is like back injuries or any sort of illness or impairment, any sort of physical struggle that has led to a financial struggle, or it could be a financial struggle independent of any injuries. But that would definitely represent that that time of struggle is kind of ending and a new cycle is going to be opening up. So we have the Three of Pentacles here now. So you could be, we had a message about a soulmate in that first section up here. And the Three of Pentacles can be teaming up or collaborating with someone for a shared interest or a shared goal. So you could be meeting someone or connecting with someone that you already know, and the two of you could be working on like a mutual could even be 3 people, I don't know, it could be a group thing. But yeah, the goal is the same, and you're coming together to team up and work on it. And it could be what that could have something to do with the ending of a challenging financial situation. So it could bring in some revenue quite quickly, or someone gives you an idea, a friend gives you an idea, you collaborate with someone, and it pays off. There's something about a team effort with that 3 of Pentacles. They didn't quite come out, but I'll just have a quick look at them. 9 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, so it could lead to financial contentment is what I feel, is that there could be something to this. Something to this that brings in some income and has you feeling like a little bit more comfortable. So it's either some sort of like collaboration or a group project or a group business or a business partnership. Or if you were already working on this but you've been sick or injured or dealing with a lot lately, it's like you're getting back to it. There's something here about a team thing though. Predictions for group 2 in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, we've got the Hermit, which again, it's like if you haven't been able to invest in your goals, it feels like you're going to be able to invest a lot more, because maybe you're going to be coming out of like a period of withdrawal or introspection, or healing, if you've been having to heal some stuff. Actually, with the Hermit, with the 3 of Pentacles, for some of you, maybe it's a solo project and you're going to get like more clients, or you're going to be getting more interest or more expressions of interest or more recognition or more publicity, or there's like word of mouth where you're getting more people come to you, because the Hermit's making me think it could be a solo thing but it involves other people, or like someone gives you an idea, or someone, I don't know, like someone talks about you and then word spreads. There's something here where it could be like a solo project for some of you. So I hope I didn't lose everybody that was like, I'm not in a group project. But yeah, it could also be like a solo project, and either you deal with other people start approaching you, like a friend, someone messages you and they're like, oh, a friend, I heard from so-and-so about you. Can I book in, like that type of energy? So if things have been slow, basically they're going to start picking up. There's going to be an improvement. It feels like, if you were pulled in a certain direction for a little while there, it was all necessary for you to go within and learn something, and now things are going to start to increase, is what it feels like. Yeah, so with the 3 of Swords there, it feels like you definitely had some healing to do, or have some healing to do still, even, I'm not quite sure, but it could even be healing again from injury or illness or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be like grief or sorrow or trauma. It could be like a more physical issue, or it could be like mental health, or it could be exhaustion, stress, things like that. But what's on the bottom? Yeah, like the Knight of Swords, and then under that is the Ace of Wands. So he's moving right towards like that passion, excitement, inspiring idea. So it feels like your energy is literally about to increase and you're about to enter a time of serious action, moving head on towards your goals, moving really, really quickly towards your goals, bringing them to completion. Oh, quite a few big cards under there. So I can see that a time of struggle is ending in the next couple of weeks. For some of you, you're teaming up with somebody else to move your dreams along. And maybe you're someone who usually likes to do things alone, and you're having to really open up and trust to let someone else in on your idea. But it'll really pay off, because it feels like, if two people have the same intention, then you can bring things to fruition much quicker. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. You can bring an idea to life very quickly when you've got two minds or two energies focusing on the same thing. So what else can I see here? I think that's it for now. We're going to get you some advice though. Where are we? There we are. And then we'll discuss what I'm going to go into in your extended reading. I can tell you that I'm going to go into this Three of Pentacles and find out what this collaboration is. I'm going to there's also something here that I can just barely grasp at, but it feels like for the singles that are watching this reading, I do feel like there is an energy coming towards you, and this could potentially heal your heart. And I'm not saying it's anybody else's responsibility to heal you. I feel like you have healed to a certain extent, but I mean heal your heart in the way where this person loves you like nobody's loved you before, and completely restores or changes your perspective on love or how you ever thought love could be. It feels like there is someone coming towards you. So I'm going to look at that in the extended too and clarify that. So we might clarify this message in terms of singles and in terms of connections, because I feel like it could be a little bit different for each scenario, but we're going to look a little bit more into that. Because I just know that there's some really subtle soulmate energies coming through in a more romantic sense, because these two cards were giving me a little bit of an energy. This card was giving me a bit of an energy. We have a very healing energy with the Three of Swords. We have a Knight of Swords kind of coming in from behind the Hermit, where the Hermit's not really necessarily expecting that person to come in. So it feels like there's something to do with love there. So I'm definitely going to clarify that. And I'm going to try to clarify this business idea or this business collaboration energy as well. But for now, what is Group 2's advice for the next 2 weeks when they come across this? Wow. You guys have got the Golden Unicorn Ascension, awaken to your soul's potential. Wow, big card. The Golden Unicorn is literally about, like it says, ascension. So in the next 2 weeks, you're really going to be spiritually ascending, yes, but also moving really far towards your goals, making a lot of progress in your tangible reality, not just your spiritual journey, but yeah, like you're covering a lot of distance in terms of your goals and aspirations, and definitely awakening to your soul's potential. So, becoming more confident, becoming more faithful in yourself and your dreams, not limiting yourself or confining yourself in any areas, really going above and beyond, and exceeding the expectations of even yourself, but also those around you as well. So it feels like there's a lot of, it's like you're completely soaring to new heights in the next couple of weeks, or you're going to see just how far you can take this journey. What's Group 2's advice for the next 2 weeks following when they receive this message? Group 2. We have the Hare. Take time to make clear decisions. Bring awareness and light to the situation. This feels like it is bringing me back to that message where I said that I do feel like some of the people in this group maybe prefer to work alone and maybe skeptical or reluctant to team up or collaborate with someone or accept help from someone or something like that. And I think that if you bring awareness and light to the situation, you might realize where that might be holding you back or limiting your success. And if you make a more clear decision, maybe you'll realize that it's actually going to benefit you, not limit you or hold you back. So it's going to actually help you. So if you're, I guess, trying to refuse help or trying to refuse or resist anything the universe is sending your way, I think that maybe you need to ask yourself why you're doing that. And ask yourself if that's the right decision. And then it's also making me think that because we have that card up there about being in a super romantic but not a super realistic state, for those of you where someone does come in, maybe this is saying, take time to make clear decisions. Don't rush. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't, get any of the wrong ideas or anything like that. Like just, take your time. Make clear decisions. Bring awareness to the situation. Bring light to the situation. If it's someone who's coming to apologize for hurting you, bring awareness, bring light to the situation, and just make clear decisions. I'm getting more and more intrigued about this extended reading now. What's Group 2's advice in the next 2 weeks following this message, or following when they receive this message? Group 2's advice. I'm going to reshuffle those. I'm just not... Okay, it was that one. We have the hedgehog there. Embrace who you are. So this is, about embracing your whole self, whether it's the bits that you don't like. It's about accepting and embracing them anyway and loving yourself for all of your uniqueness. Maybe it's about softening your defenses a little bit. I'm just thinking of like a hedgehog. When its spines are up, they're in defense mode, and this one's kind of like more relaxed. So maybe the more that you accept and embrace who you are, the more that you can relax and kind of get out of defense mode yourself. and kind of like soften, I don't know, soften your energy and kind of be able to, and look at that, we've got the swan on the bottom, soften your heart and find your flow. So yeah, embracing yourself and accepting yourself can soften your heart, and you can find more of a flow there, and you know, go through that graceful transformation of you know, loving yourself and softening your heart space. Yeah, emerging into that beautiful swan. Okay, so we are at the end of your first part, or the first part of your reading. There will be an extended. So as I said, we're going to touch on this collaboration that we have here. We're going to kind of try and find out a little bit more about that, where it's going. We're going to clarify for those in connections and those that are single, what this part over here is about, because I do kind of pick up on an energy of someone for someone here going on. So I want to find out what that's about. So we might kind of we'll clarify those, and then maybe kind of look at what might happen next if something comes through there. So we'll cover that, and yeah, this collaboration, and basically see if there's anything else that Spirit would like to add on. So if you're going to join me over there, the link is in the description box below to the extended reading. But whether you join me over there or not, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you being here and supporting my channel here on YouTube. If you feel like doing so, please feel free to give the video a like or a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so. Oh, and I also wanted to say that I have reopened private readings, but I'm only going to be allocating a day a week to private readings. So I don't know how quickly I'll start to book up, but sometimes you will have to book in advance a little bit. But if you are interested, my Instagram details are in the description box below, and my services along with the prices are all there in my story highlights on my Instagram profile, and all you have to do is DM me to book a reading. So that's that. But whether I see you in the extended or whether I leave you here, thank you again for watching this video and supporting my channel. It means so much to me. And I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Stay safe. Bye, guys. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your reading, where we're going to be diving into the next 2 weeks for you guys and seeing what might be happening in the next 2 weeks. If you were drawn to Group 3, you've been drawn to our little cute sun symbol. And we're going to flip over your card in just a moment. There will be an extended in today's reading, which we'll talk about at the end, because depending on what comes through, will determine what we're going to discuss in that extended reading. So for now, we're just going to jump straight in and see what might be going on. So this is your first card here. So you got, Group 3 got number 33. So maybe 333 is a number that you might be seeing in the next 2 weeks. But this card is Merkaba. So it says movement, long distance travel, and excitement. So there could be a lot of movement, there could be a lot of growth, there could be a lot of progression in the next couple of weeks for you guys, or at least a lot of exciting things starting to come up. Some of you may actually be traveling somewhere, otherwise this is just sort of like metaphorical for a lot of progress being made in the next couple of weeks. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes into play throughout your message. But let's have a look and see what your oracle cards are. So we've already shuffled these 5, and then we're going to get some tarot as well. But your cards are New Moon in Aries, it's time to take action. Number 26, happy, happy. Number 7, community. Another number 7, awaiting results. 11 in perfect harmony. So you've got a lot of 3s, a couple of 7s, and then you've got an 11. So you've got a lot of repeating numbers coming through. So perhaps that might be something that the universe is sending you, or a way that Spirit's communicating with you a lot in the next couple of weeks, is you might be seeing a lot of different number synchronicities, like 333, 711, 117. Those are the numbers kind of coming up at the moment, but any number synchronicities really. But let's start here, and we'll talk about this card first of all. So this is like, this energy is one of like a spark kind of being lit. So this can be like a new start, or something happening in the next 2 weeks that really excites you or brings a lot of new excitement into your life. It can be a very auspicious card if there's something you really want to happen. So if there's something that you really want to happen, this card is like a big yes that it's happening. It can also mean that in order for this thing to happen, or for this new start, or whatever might be coming in, which we hope to figure out when we get into some more detail, it can be a sign that you need to be brave and courageous. You need to be determined and assertive, but you also need to keep in mind how you treat people. So being assertive doesn't mean being arrogant or being rude. It means being healthily assertive. So basically just, make sure you slow down and be careful that you treat people right. Remember your manners, because you don't want to create any negative karma or negative drama along the way. Other messages of this card in the guidebook is that it can be a really good time to start a 12-month plan, or even implement a new idea, or start a new idea, birth it into your life. And another thing that it could mean is that a new male could be entering your life. So usually I don't really do gender, I usually do energy, but in the guidebook for this card, it does specifically say a new male is coming into someone's life. So that could resonate for someone that needs to hear that. But for now, we'll move on. So we have number 26 here, happy, happy. So this card is really about being in a really joyful energy, being in a really happy energy, but not necessarily because of anything going on outside of you, but just being in that energy and cultivating it from within. So it's like a natural way of being that comes up from inside yourself. So your happiness levels are going to be, way up. And I feel that this happiness and this frequency that you're in, this is what's going to attract something that's going to sort of add to that happiness. So, I do see you having a lot of reasons to smile and a lot of reasons to be happy. And I see a lot adding to that, but it's not necessarily anything outside of you that's making you feel this way. It's more of your like inner alignment in the next couple of weeks. So enjoy that energy. But I am kind of picking up something specifically that will definitely make you even happier in the next couple of weeks. So moving on to this card, number 7, community. So this can be a card of like, socializing and networking and spending a lot of time around other people, either people that you already know, or networking and meeting new people, meeting others. Maybe you're going to some sort of event or some workshop or something like that, meeting people with similar visions, similar values, similar interests and things like that. So either you're sort of like connecting with friends you already know, but then meeting new people and networking through your friends, or you're going to some sort of event or some sort of, location or somewhere that you're going to meet a lot of new people. And the key here in this card is that there is going to be new connections formed that are very important for the next part of your journey, because there is, in at least one of the connections, there's an important purpose or an important mission that the two of you share, and you're going to do something. You're going to build something, create something, do something with this person or with a group of people that share the same vision as yourself. if you're not doing any networking or doing any socializing in the next couple of weeks, then this would be a sign to do so. It would bring you a lot of good luck, and you will meet people that you're supposed to meet in the next couple of weeks. So see what you can kind of like get yourself to in terms of like organizations or events that you're interested in. There's definitely people to meet in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, things like classes, communities, groups, any sorts of like hobbies that you have, or even just like catching up with your friends or your colleagues and just networking, socializing, talking, exchanging ideas. It will pay off, and there will be something that is shared between you and another person. And because there's more than one mind giving energy to that intention, it's going to amplify and accelerate the energy in the other realms. So the manifestation is going to come to life really quickly and really easily. Maybe not overnight. We are next to like a card about patience, but it will be very fluid, and it will happen very quickly, because when you've got more than one mind setting intentions towards the same thing, obviously that energy is going to amplify, as opposed to just one person focusing their energy towards that thing. So there's one or more people that you're going to do something very important with, and it's going to pay off. But moving over here, this card is about patience and persistence, but it does lead to a well-deserved reward. So even if it's not overnight, I think you will still be surprised at how quickly the growth or the progress happens. And that's because it is in perfect harmony with the divine, or, you know, the souls are in perfect harmony with each other. There's some sort of perfect harmony or perfect alignment that's going on here that's going to make this happen very quickly or happen very easily, and you're going to see the growth quite quickly. Even if you don't peak super quickly, even if you have a long way to go, you're going to see the results quite quick, because of the kind of perfect alignment that's happening here. The imperfect harmony card. So as I said, I do feel like your intentions and these people are all in alignment to bring this goal to fruition, or to birth whatever this is, on whatever level it is. But this specific card, it can represent, again, like meeting people and coming into contact with people that are very in alignment with you. So, you know, if you're single, especially if you've been single for a long time, it feels like there's an energy here of meeting somebody with a lot of potential in the next couple of weeks, if you're open to that. Someone whose soul really resonates with yours. Or if you're already connected to someone, this could be a sign that is going to be very harmonious and sweet in the next couple of weeks. And it's just going to feel really effortless and enjoyable. But whether you're single or connected, there's definitely going to be like soul tribe members and other people that are meant to be on your journey that are coming your way. And I definitely have this energy of meeting like-minded or like-souled individuals. All right, so I think we're going to go into the tarot now, and we're going to see what else we can get through for you guys. So what else can you tell us about the next 2 weeks for group 3 at the time that they watch this video or this reading? What's going on in the next 2 weeks for group 3 at the time they receive this message? Okay, so we do have the Lovers. So this is definitely reaffirming that like divine relationships are entering your life. So that doesn't have to mean romantic relationships, but divine relationships. So whether you're single or connected, it can be relationships of all kinds that are meant to be in your life, whether it's because you share a mission or a purpose, you're meant to work together, you're meant to create something together, you're meant to be together, or just someone who really uplifts your state of being and really elevates your consciousness, you know, teaches you a lesson that you needed to learn or teaches you something that you needed to learn. Divine relationships can be, you know, there's a very broad spectrum of divine relationships, but just take it as it resonates for you. There's going to be a lot of divine relationships coming your way. And I'm definitely seeing you and another person, at least one other person. It could be a group of 3, it could be a trio as well, choosing to create or birth something. We have the King of Wands. So it could be like a business partnership, like something that you're going to create with someone else, like starting a business or a project or some sort of entrepreneurial endeavor, something along those lines. But for singles, I do see you potentially meeting like a divine soulmate, someone who's very attractive and attracted to you, someone very passionate, charismatic. The King of Wands is the most mature. The King is the most mature of the court cards in each suit. So this is someone who is like in their power. And it's, yeah, I feel like if you're single, you're attracting in a romantic partner. And that's what this is talking about. But if you're already in a connection, then this would be someone that you're going to work with or do something like creative with, carry out some sort of divine mission, divine purpose. We have the Two of Swords. So again, I'm seeing decisions and choices coming up in the next 2 weeks. What's this about? We have the Magician here. Excuse me, sorry about that. Some of you might be a little bit defensive or guarded about bringing something to life and wondering if you're prepared enough or wondering if you're capable enough or if you're ready. But this is a sign that you are ready, you have everything you need, and if you don't have it, you have the ability to manifest it. So the Magician's a really powerful energy to say that you have all the resources you need, and what you don't have, you will manifest along the way. So it's about kind of being brave and trying not to deny yourself this really good opportunity. We have the Knight of Wands now. Yeah, that's like telling you to just like, you know, basically just to go for it, just to jump on in and go for it. The Knight of Wands can be a little bit sort of rushed or impulsive, but very dedicated to the cause. So I feel like, you know, you should take this opportunity and just go for it while these energies are so supportive, because it's going to help the situation grow and progress really quickly. We have the Star card. I had a funny feeling the King of Cups wanted to come out because it was on the bottom of the deck and I saw it, but I shuffled again and then it came out. That's funny. Bottom of the deck is now the Five of Swords. All right. If you are in a connection, I'm seeing an issue resolved in the next couple of weeks, and like the healing and love coming back into the connection. It feels like there might have been like a bit of a disagreement or some bitterness in the recent past that's going to be overcome. And yeah, like things are going to come back into a nice harmony. And then if you're single, I do feel like it does seem like you might have a choice between two people. And then also that sort of business thing coming up. So I'll tell you everything I'm getting, and then you can apply it how it resonates as it unfolds over the next couple of weeks, because there's a few different scenarios playing out here, but I'm seeing like a romantic partner that feels a bit like a wish come true. But then I'm also seeing like, so either you're either with this person already or you're not, but either way there's like a bit of like a dream come true type energy. So something's either resolved if you've been having issues or communication issues especially, or then if you're single and this is someone, it's like a wish come true, someone who helps you open up again and I guess be less guarded and defensive of love. And then I'm seeing this partnership or trio of people working on a mutual project or a mutual dream. So it's like everybody has the same intentions and then they all join forces to bring it to life. And that's for everyone. So I feel like everyone in the group is going to be forming some sort of alliance or partnership or team to start working on a vision or bring a vision to life. And then whether you're single or connected, there's a lot of love and a lot of healing that's going to be entering your heart space in the next 2 weeks. Now, I feel like this reading is going quite quickly compared to the others, actually. Just trying to think. Okay, I might just finish the reading as normal and then we'll see how much time's left and maybe we can do something extra if it's called for. But I don't want to take away from the extended either, so we'll see how we go. But let's get some advice for group 3 in the 2 weeks from when they receive this message. I'm feeling called to point out the 7th of the 7th to the 11th of the 7th. So the 7th of July to the 11th of July. If you're watching before then, those dates seem to be important. Obviously that's, if you're watching this video when it's uploaded, it's still a little bit away. Or is it within 2 weeks? Actually, it could be about within 2 weeks by the time I get this up. So yeah, those dates could be very, very important, but it could be just outside the 2 weeks as well if you're watching it like straight away, if I get this uploaded today, because today is the 21st of June. But yeah, let's have a look at Group 3's advice for the 2 weeks to come when they receive this message. So we do have the dog, divine service. How can you serve yourself better? So the dog's about being like a really loyal person to yourself and really making sure your needs are met. Are you getting enough rest? Are you getting enough playtime? Are you getting enough exercise? Are you getting enough food? Like really getting back to basics and making sure you're just taking really good basic care of yourself. But if there's any ways that you can serve yourself better, look for ways that you can incorporate that into your daily routines or weekly routines. You know, whether it's like buying yourself some flowers, you know, binge watching Netflix on the couch for a weekend, stargazing, anything that you can do to serve yourself and enjoy yourself, improve your mood, or whatever you need at the time, that's going to go down a treat. All right, we have the honeybee, divine feminine. You are being called on to rise. So this is about the feminine energy within you being called to rise or being called to awaken. So whether you're a male or a female, this is about bringing that feminine energy into balance. If you identify as female, this is about really stepping into your divine feminine energy and really stepping into your power. Or if you identify as male and you're more masculine dominated energy, this is just about bringing your femininity into balance. It's not saying that you need to become, you know, overly sensitive or anything like that. It's just about accepting that side of yourself and being in tune with your emotions, being okay with receiving and things like that. But yeah, definitely stepping into that divine feminine energy, getting ready to receive all this goodness from the universe that's coming your way. But yeah. Group 3's advice in the next 2 weeks when they receive this message, please. Oh, there's a lot there. No, we're not going to take 3. I just want one more and then a bottom deck, please. Okie. Okay, so the polar bear was meant to come out. Nurture. Allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. So anything that you're worried or concerned about, it's about gently letting that go, feeling the fear, doing it anyway, feeling the anxiety, moving through it, finding healthy ways to release it. It feels like it could be related to, you know, this new project, or maybe like meeting these new people or making these big decisions. But, you know, if you just concentrate on nurturing yourself and the inner child and reminding yourself that you're safe and you're always protected, it may help you just sort of gently release those worries and anxieties and make good decisions and really step into that power. Underneath the deck we have the penguin, diamond light activation. Light activations and new energies are coming your way. Be open to receive and welcome them in. So this is what I feel like. This is kind of referring to all of that energy that's supporting this big beginning. I feel like the more open to the energy and welcoming of that energy that you are, so like if you're intentionally connecting with that energy and saying thank you to the energy for saying thank you to the universe for providing these supportive energies, like the more you connect with them and show gratitude for these energies, the even more beneficial they're going to be for you, because there's a conscious intention behind it as well to kind of receive and work with the energies. You're not just kind of working through it blindly. It's like you're consciously saying, yes, thank you for these energies. I'm going to work with them with like conscious intention. So there's a lot of energy supporting everything that's going to happen for you in the next couple of weeks. So really trust that. Be open to it. Be open to receive the things that are coming in for you, because everything seems to be coming in for you. You don't necessarily have to actively go get it. It's like everything that you need for this new beginning is all coming to you, and then boom, it's go, go, go. I think that your main thing in this is just like doing the socializing, doing the networking, saying yes to the invitations, and just making sure that you are being a social person and taking advantage of these energies, because it's not all just going to happen if you're sitting in the house and not going anywhere. You have to obviously do something in that regard. Otherwise, it's almost impossible for the universe to hand you these things. So your part in it, I suppose, is just putting yourself out there enough and doing the networking, doing the socializing, so that you can welcome the people and energies in for what's about to happen. All right, let me think. What can I do? Excuse me. Just looking at all my decks and trying to figure out what I can sort of. I might pull this deck out and let's see what we can find out about this divine project or this divine creation, if anything. I'm sure it's going to be quite different for many people, but hopefully we can get like a baseline or a rough idea. What is this divine purpose or this divine creation in group 3's energy? We have Archangel Michael coming in. So it could be something to do with, it's either something that brings your inner child a lot of healing. So it could be something connected to, it's either connected to children or connected to your inner child. And it either brings you a lot of healing or brings others a lot of healing. That's what I'm picking up with that first card. There's a lot of green energy in that card, which is like heart chakra energy. So yeah, that's why I get this healing vibe to it, and it's either healing for yourself or healing for others. What can you tell us about this divine creation or the divine project in group 3's energy? Oh my gosh, stop giving me so many cards. One at a time, please. Usually this deck's really good when it comes to giving. Oh, look at that. We've got Archangel Raphael now, more green energy. He's got a literal green ball of energy and his heart space is glowing. So that's definitely confirming that it's either this journey heals your inner child or heals a part of you, or you're bringing healing to others in some way. So what you do helps other people heal, or it helps you heal, which is why it makes me think it could be connected to your childhood or like something that you experienced and then helping or guiding others through it or something along those lines. Or what you do, like you do it with such love and compassion that it just brings love and compassionate energies to other people, regardless of what you're doing. Like you just always bring a really loving and compassionate energy, which just soothes and uplifts people just because of who you are and just because of your nature. We have up in the air reverse and the divine physician in reverse. Yes. So you got all major arcanas in this, by the way. So this deck is similar to tarot in the fact that it has the same amount of major arcanas and the same amount of minor arcanas, but they're just different names. And all 4 of your cards are all major arcana, which they're the rarer, the more rare side of things. So this is major. There's a huge purpose in what you're doing. It's about to ground. I feel like maybe it's been an idea or it's been a vision of yours for quite some time, but it's about to come and ground itself in reality because you're going to meet the right people, or you're meeting the right person that helps you bring the idea to life, or they encourage you to follow the path or something. It involves at least one or more other people somehow. And then this card in reverse again is like reconnecting to your inner healer. So it could be something quite spiritual for many of you. Otherwise it's just healing because of the energy that you bring to what you do. Or again, it's healing yourself and healing your own inner child, or healing others. But there's a massive emphasis on healing, love and compassion. I don't know if any of you are going to like study like Reiki, and you're going like you meet someone who also wants to study it, and then you're like, oh, we should do it together, and then you both go to like study that course together or something. But there's a huge thing of like Reiki here, and as I say that, my hands are getting really warm. So I feel like someone's studying like Reiki or massage or some sort of like energy healing or alternative healing. Emphasis on the hands because my hands are so warm right now. I'm also seeing 999 because the 6 is in reverse. It looks like a 9. 8 and 1 is 9. 999. So a lot of number synchronicities again. We have 8, 8, and we have an 8 on this card. Lots of you're going to notice a lot of number synchronicities in the next 2 weeks that is kind of like validating like, yes, this is all happening, this is all happening, this is all happening. And in the next 2 weeks is when it starts. So I'm not saying that, you know, this whole thing is going to be finalized in the next 2 weeks, but you might, in the next 2 weeks, you might meet the first person who is important on the journey, and then things start to happen from there. Or, you know, in the next 2 weeks, you sign up to that community that you've been interested in joining for a while, and then things start from there. So there's the beginning of it is in the next 2 weeks, and then it will be a process from there. But that's what I can tell you about this for now. So that is where I'm going to leave this section of your reading group 3. I'm going to take it over to the extended, where we're going to find more out about these relationships that are coming your way. We're going to look in terms of a single who's coming in for you, because I do pick up a soulmate kind of vibe. For those in relationships, we're just going to kind of like, I guess, clarify the situation, and maybe see what this harmony brings you guys as a couple. And then we'll try and kind of just get some like spiritual guidance and spiritual advice for you, because we've kind of covered a lot of the purpose and the creation and the work side of things here. So that's what we're going to discuss in the extended. So if I see you over there, wonderful. Can't wait to chat more about this over there. But even if I leave you here, and even if you're coming to the extended, thank you so much for joining me on this YouTube portion and supporting this channel. I really appreciate your love and support. I am taking private readings again. I've decided to allocate a day per week. So depending on how quickly I fill up, sometimes there might be a wait involved, but I just don't want to completely throw myself back in and overdo it and end up where I just was, because I ended up completely neglecting my physical body, and have had some physical problems that I've had to kind of like get on top of lately. So yeah, I'm just going to do a day per week and see how that goes with the workload. If you're interested in a private reading, my Instagram details are in the description box below, and all of my services, including the prices, are in my story highlights on my profile. So you can check them out, and then when you want a book, you just DM me over there. Very, very easy. But yeah, the extended link is also below in the description box too. Oh, excuse me. The extended link is also in the description box below if you're looking for that link. But until next time, guys, stay safe, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye bye.